You wake up. First thing you do? Grab your phone. Check messages. Scroll through problems. See what you missed, what's going wrong, what you need to fix. And before you've even gotten out of bed, your mind is already running, already anxious, already behind. Here's what I learned. The first 5 minutes of your morning determine the next 16 hours. Not because of some mystical energy, but because of how your brain works. What you feed it first thing sets the filter for everything else. Most people wake up and immediately hand control to the outside world. Notifications, other people's needs, the news, drama, chaos. But what if you took those first 5 minutes back? What if you used them to program your mind instead of letting it be programmed by everything else? There are 5 things I say to myself every single morning now. Not affirmations, not fake positivity, just truth. And it's completely changed how I move through life. Let me show you what Krishna understood about this thousands of years ago. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 6, Krishna talking about the mind, and he says, "For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy." Your mind is either working for you or against you. There's no neutral. And the battle for control, it starts the moment you wake up. If you let your mind run wild first thing in the morning, it'll drag you into worry, comparison, fear, negativity. It becomes your enemy. But if you take control, if you direct it, it becomes the most powerful tool you have. And that control starts with what you tell yourself. Here's what happens in your brain when you wake up. There's this thing called the reticular activating system, the RAS. It's a network of neurons in your brainstem, and its job is to filter reality. You're bombarded with millions of bits of information every second. You can't process all of it. So the RAS decides what gets through and what gets ignored. And here's the key. It filters based on what you've told it is important. If you wake up and immediately think about everything that's wrong, everything you're behind on, everything you're worried about, your RAS locks onto that. It starts scanning your environment for more problems, more threats, more proof that you're right to be anxious. But if you wake up and consciously direct your mind toward truth, toward clarity, toward intention, your RAS filters for that instead. Same reality, different experience. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about not letting problems be the first thing that programs your perception. So here are the 5 things, and I'm going to explain why each one works. First thing, today is not guaranteed. Yeah, sounds dark, but hear me out. You woke up today. That's not a given. People went to sleep last night and didn't wake up. You did. You've been given another day you didn't earn, another 24 hours you can't get back. When you start there, everything shifts. You stop taking the day for granted. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You move with urgency, but not anxiety. You realize this day is a gift, and you get to choose what you do with it. Most people sleepwalk through life assuming they have infinite time. They don't. Neither do you. Remind yourself of that every morning, and watch how differently you spend your hours. Second thing, I am not my thoughts. We covered this before, but it needs to be daily. That voice in your head that starts talking the second you wake up, that's not you. It's just mental activity. And if you don't remind yourself of that, you'll spend the whole day being controlled by it. When you say this out loud, I am not my thoughts, you create space. You remember you're the awareness, not the chatter. And that space gives you power. Thoughts can come and go, but you're not at their mercy. Third thing, I control my response. You don't control what happens today. You don't control other people. You don't control circumstances, traffic, weather, the economy, any of it. But you control how you respond to all of it. This is straight from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. Krishna says, "You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions." You control your effort, your attitude, your response. That's it. The outcome? Not up to you. When you remind yourself of this every morning, you stop trying to control things you can't. You stop stressing about results. You focus on what's actually in your hands, your choices, your actions, your energy, and that's where your power is. Fourth thing, I am here to give, not to take. Most people wake up thinking, what can I get today? What do I need? What's missing? What do I deserve? And that mindset makes you a victim. You're always lacking, always chasing, always empty. But when you wake up and ask, what can I give today? How can I serve? How can I show up for the people around me? everything changes. You move through the day with purpose. You stop keeping score. You stop waiting for life to give you permission to be happy. You become the source instead of the seeker. And ironically, when you stop chasing, everything you need starts coming to you. Fifth thing, I am enough right now. Not when you hit that goal, not when you make more money, not when you lose the weight or find the relationship or get the recognition, right now, as you are. Flawed, incomplete, still growing. You're enough. This doesn't mean you stop improving. It means you stop tying your worth to achievements. You stop measuring yourself against some future version of you that doesn't exist yet. You're whole now. You're valuable now. And you can work toward growth from that foundation instead of from lack. Here's why these 5 things work better than any motivational quote or surface-level affirmation. They're rooted in truth. They're not pretending. They're not bypassing reality. They're reorienting you to what's real. And your brain knows the difference. There's research in psychology called self-affirmation theory. When you affirm truths about yourself, not lies, not wishful thinking, but actual truths, it reduces stress, improves problem solving, and increases resilience. But when you repeat things you don't believe, I'm a millionaire, I'm confident, I'm fearless, your brain rejects it. It knows you're lying, and it creates internal conflict instead of alignment. These 5 things aren't lies. They're reminders of what's already true. You just forgot. And every morning, you're remembering. Now here's the practical part. How do you actually do this? Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier. Just 5. When you wake up, don't grab your phone. Sit up, feet on the ground, take 3 deep breaths, and then say these 5 things out loud. Out loud matters. When you hear your own voice speaking truth, it registers differently than just thinking it. It becomes real. Do this for 30 days. That's it, 30 mornings, and watch what changes. You'll notice you're calmer, less reactive, more intentional. You'll stop starting your day from a place of chaos and start from a place of clarity. Your relationships will improve because you're not bringing that morning anxiety into every interaction. Your work will improve because you're focused on what you can control instead of stressing about what you can't. Your entire energy will shift because you're no longer letting the outside world set your internal state. I started doing this about 8 months ago, and honestly, it felt awkward at first. Talking to myself out loud before coffee? Yeah, weird. But I kept going. And within 2 weeks, I noticed something. I stopped dreading mornings. I stopped waking up already stressed. I started feeling like I had control over my day instead of my day controlling me. And the wildest part? The external circumstances didn't change that much. I still had problems, still had challenges, but I was different. My mind was working with me instead of against me. That's what Krishna meant. Conquer the mind, and it becomes your greatest friend. Let it run wild, and it's your worst enemy. These 5 things are how you conquer it. Daily, consistently, no matter what. Look, you're going to think something when you wake up. Your mind is going to start talking. That's automatic. The question is, are you going to let it say whatever it wants, or are you going to direct it toward truth? Most people never take control. They wake up, and the mind immediately starts spinning. Worries, fears, comparisons, regrets, and they just accept it. That's just how I am in the morning, but it doesn't have to be. You can take the first 5 minutes and set the tone. You can remind yourself of what's true. You can program your RAS to filter for clarity instead of chaos. And when you do that every single day for 30 days, you're not just changing your mornings, you're rewiring your brain. That's neuroplasticity. Your brain adapts to what you practice. Practice anxiety every morning, you get better at anxiety. Practice clarity every morning, you get better at clarity. It's that simple and that powerful. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, don't grab your phone. Sit up, breathe, and say these 5 things. Today is not guaranteed. I am not my thoughts. I control my response. I am here to give, not to take. I am enough right now. Do it for 30 days, that's all. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, just do it. And watch what happens. Your mind will either work for you or against you. Krishna made that clear. The choice is yours. And the choice starts the moment you open your eyes. Take back your mornings. Take back your mind. Take back your life. Start your 30-day journey today. Subscribe for more.